So some people think that meeting your hero is kind of like finding out how the sausage is made.
Not gonna lie to you, Hawkeye's a bit of a letdown.
Sorry to disappoint you.
But every once in a while, it actually works out.
I'm his partner / best friend, Kate. What do you think of Lady Hawk? Hawk Eve? Lady Arrow?
You know what? Actually, I have an idea.
No way. Is it time?
So Clint Barton is in New York City, taking his kids to see a play about Captain America.
Why is everyone singing and dancing about everything?
During a scene about the Battle of New York, he has a moment where he starts thinking about Natasha, which could also be confused as him zoning out because he thinks the play sucks. He also thinks that people suck because they do things like agree with Thanos and want to take selfies while he's got his dick out.
I want one that big.
But his kids must not like the play either, and they all leave early.
What, it's not good?
We then meet this girl, Kate Bishop, who made a bet with her friends that she could ring a bell with an arrow. Since she sucks at picking locks, she scales the building, instead of trying one of the other buildings on campus. But she gets up to the roof, fires an arrow, and technically makes it ring. But that's not good enough for her, and she has to use a trick arrow to get it to really make some noise. Which it does, and then the bell, simply by just doing its primary function, collapses the tower.
Cheap piece of shit.
And security finds her immediately, even with all this commotion going on around campus. I mean, seriously, they need to put this rent-a-cop on the JFK assassination with how fast he was able to find her.
Bro, I found her.
But she goes home for Christmas, where her mom is mildly upset that she needs to pay for the tower, but she's rich, so whatever, and she gets punished by having her credit card taken away and having to go to a super hoity-toity charity gala.
It's a weird flex, but sure.
But before they go, Kate's like, "Oh mom, by the way, here's a medal saying I'm the best martial artist in the world."
Subtle.
I know, right?
We don't have time for subtle.
Well, at this party, Kate finds out from this guy Armand that she barely knows that her mom is engaged to his nephew Jack. And after she goes outside to get some air and talk to a one-eyed dog, she goes back in to see her mom being threatened by Armand.
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Kate follows him to the basement, where they're holding an illegal auction, and it's a good thing she wore a tux because she looks just like the waitstaff and blends in with the crowd.
What's your name?
You see, that's the problem, Gary. You don't even know my name.
But when she's almost caught by the caterers, she hides and stumbles across some Russians that are gonna rob the place. The auction's for a bunch of crap that was recovered from the Avengers compound after Thanos destroyed it. And out of all the amazing tech that could have been recovered, they're after a watch.
Very, very, very expensive. But for you, nothing.
But Jack, who's obsessed with swords, takes advantage of this and grabs the sword that Clint used when he was the Ronan. And Kate steals the Ronan suit to disguise herself while she beats up the Russians. But she realizes that she's outnumbered and runs away, only to find one of them hurting the one-eyed dog.
Yeah, butthole.
So she kicks him in the face and then has to save the dog from being run over because it can't see shit.
Which I'll admit is pretty cool, and you got a few points from me on that.
But Clint's family just happens to get back to their hotel right as the story breaks on the news, and now Clint feels like he needs to save whoever was wearing his old suit from being killed.
The news said that there was a robbery and they got somebody in a ninja suit on tape. And he doesn't assume it's the bad guy?
A ninja saved a dog.
So clearly they can't be that bad.
I don't know how to argue with that.
Well, Kate thinks that Armand is in on the heist and goes to his house and breaks in, where she finds him dead, stabbed in the back with a sword.
How many people get murdered by a sword each year in New York? I'm gonna go ahead and guess 0.
So she runs when somebody comes in, but bumps into the Russians a few blocks away.
Now, what are the chances of that?
I mean, it's New York City. How big could it be?
Like huge.
But if they were the ones who killed Armand, it would make sense for them to be close.
Well, were they the ones that killed him?
No. So they start fighting her, and she beats them all up, and then stupidly hides in a car instead of running away. And then all the Russians start getting beat up, because Hawkeye found her too.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. And Kate's thrilled that she almost got punched in the face by Hawkeye, because he's her hero. See, back in the Battle of New York, Kate's building overlooked the Avengers Tower, and she almost got shot by an alien, but Clint killed him. But since she had her eyes covered, she can't know for sure who killed him, but she saw him after, and just assumed it was him. But this happened really far into the battle, like right before Natasha closed the portal. And way after Cap ordered the evacuation, so the soundproofing on this building must be amazing.
Did you turn your hearing aid off?
And right after, her mom grabbed her, and they ran away.
I tried to swing from that very chandelier and broke my arm.
And somehow, her father was killed, even though he was in an area that was the furthest away from the alien invasion, and he had just been fighting with Eleanor about money. Nothing suspicious there.
That doesn't sound good.
But at his funeral, the 10-year-old tells her mom how she wants a bow.
I need a bow and arrow.
See, now she wants to be just like Hawkeye,
You made it look so easy and cool.
but for some reason she's already been in martial arts for 5 years
I started taking martial arts when I was 5.
and already has archery medals.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
She must be one of those manifesting chicks.
Not those idiots.
But anyway, Clint takes her back home where he wants to grill her about anything and everything that she's done while wearing the suit, but also won't listen to her when she has important information about her being tied to a murder while wearing the suit.
Sounds weird, because it is.
Where the tracksuit mafia catch up to him because she dropped the dog off there earlier, and they burn her apartment down. So Clint, Kate, and the dog take off and go to her aunt's place, and somehow now with the pressure of her hero watching her, she has no problem picking a lock. And then Clint doubles back to go get the suit, even though it's still a crime scene. He dresses up like a fireman and finds out that the suit isn't there anymore. And when he goes to return the coat, he sees that one of the firemen is a LARPer.
The little brother walked in there and took your suit. Is that possible?
What's a LARPer?
You know how people do Civil War reenactments? Well, it's like that, but for comic books and Dungeons and Dragons type stuff.
So it's a bunch of nerds hitting each other with foam swords in a park?
Well, it sounds mean when you put it that way, but yeah, pretty much. You'd probably like it though.
It's so cool, right?
Well, luckily for Clint, the fireman who took it already uploaded a video of him wearing it. So now Clint knows where to look. And even luckier, they have an event the next day. So Clint sends his kids back home, but swears he'll be home for Christmas, and goes to confront the firefighters.
We're trained professionals, but that's not enough right now.
But the girl at the sign-up desk is like, dude, I know you saved the world on multiple occasions, but if you go in there without a costume, I will have a bunch of off-duty first responders beat the shit out of you.
It's gonna get real messy.
So he puts on a costume, but rejects Thor's hair and talks to the guy.
My wife would divorce me if I put something like this on.
He says that he can have it back, but Clint has to let him kill him so he looks cool in front of his friends. And Clint's like, dude, I fought Thanos, and you expect people to believe that you could take me?
But he didn't. Pretty much any other Avenger could claim that. But he and Scott never fought Thanos.
I'll have to ask Scott about that one.
Look, he already has issues being the weakest Avenger. Just let him pad his resume.
Still don't know how you do it.
But he puts his pride aside to make sure Kate and Pizza Dog don't die.
What's a pizza?
So everybody knows that they're fighting for the suit.
Winner takes the suit!
But nobody questions it when the loser gets to keep the suit.
Whoa. But no, he took it?
But Kate's not worried about death, but is worried that her mom's marrying a murderer. He's trying to bond with her, the bastard, and she thinks it's weird that he wants to get to know his future stepdaughter.
Jack thing. It's weird.
But they have a common interest in fencing, and she finds out that he's pretty good by trying to kill him.
You try to stab your mom's fiancé in the face?
But then he offers her some candy, and she's like, oh hell no, and runs the fuck out of there.
She is not a superhero.
Oh, he's one of those stepdads.
Hi, little girl. Look what I've got for you.
What? No. The candy's monogrammed and from Armand's house, and your dad really needs to start clearing out his browser history.
I've obviously been framed.
Anyway, Clint gets caught on purpose so he can clear Kate's name, but she stupidly tracks his phone and tries to rescue him, only to get caught herself. So now they definitely think that she's the Ronan.
I'm convinced.
The woman in charge, Maya, well, her dad was killed by the Ronan, and she wants revenge so bad that she won't believe that Kate isn't him just because she beat up a couple of her goons. But Clint breaks free and runs away from the goons and ends up in a fight with Maya, who's deaf and seems to think that Clint would be better fighting without his hearing aid. So when she kicks him in the head with her metal leg, it goes flying, and he has to find out if it's true. Well, I mean, he would've if he didn't immediately get his bow, free Kate, and then non-lethally take out Maya and the rest of the goons.
Well, you've officially failed at that.
But they all recover and chase him through the city, where Kate has to use a bunch of trick arrows on him that most likely killed a few people.
What? No.
But they get away on the bridge after destroying it with a Pym arrow, and then repelling onto a subway car. And after nearly escaping death, the only concern on their mind is whether the dog shit in the apartment or not.
Oh, we gotta walk the dog.
Probably should walk the dog.
Do you really think so?
So they get Clint's hearing aid fixed, and he doesn't turn it back on until they're done with breakfast, at which point she thinks she's figured out how to make him one of the cooler Avengers. And she thinks that it starts with him getting a new costume, which he's less than thrilled about.
I guess you're not an art major.
But they also need to worry about the tracksuits, so Kate thinks that her mom's security company might have a file on him, so they go to her mom's place. Once they log in, they find out that that dude Kazi that was interpreting for Maya is an employee for one of her mom's clients. And then Clint's caught by Jack. But that gets resolved almost immediately, and Kate's mom rubs Clint's best friend's death in his face and is all, forget about whatever super important thing you were doing, because my daughter's life is more importanter to me. And instead of saying, your daughter accidentally pissed off a gang that wants to kill her, and the only reason I'm missing Christmas with my family is that I'm trying to keep her alive, he just says no. So Eleanor has a Thanos moment.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
And calls the director of the CIA to put a hit out on an Avenger.
I've got your next target.
Thought I'd hand deliver it. Kind of a cutie.
So Clint has Laura do a search on Sloan Limited, where she finds out that Jack runs it.
I've never worked a day in my life.
She also wonders what other crap people may have scavenged from the compound, and he's immediately like, the watch.
You mean the Rolex?
The same one you gave him for Christmas to finally tell him you love him?
That can't be right, is it?
So now we know this thing's kind of important. But just as Clint gets on board with the Jack is evil crap, Kate starts to think that she was too hard on him because he makes her mom happy. And when she mentions how much it means to her to spend time with the two of them, she ditches him to ruin Clint's daiquiri spa day.
Can't have that show up on my credit card.
They need to come up with a plan, but instead get drunk, and Clint teaches Kate how to throw a quarter.
Throw a quarter?
Like, super accurately.
But it's a trick.
The next day, Kate meets with the LARPers to see if she can get one of the cops to steal their arrows out of lockup.
Oh, is she gonna do it because he's a good guy and what he's doing must be super secret and important?
No. She's gonna do it because they bribe her with expensive materials for their cosplay outfits.
If you make it worth my while.
And her friends, who are also first responders, are like, you gotta bribe us too. And Kate's like, okay.
Enough materials to make your costumes plus 2 more.
But while Kate and the LARPers are committing multiple felonies, Clint meets with Kazi. And he's like, your boss wouldn't like all this attention, and we have no interest in messing with you, the big guy, or Maya, so convince her to leave us alone. And after he agrees, they break into her apartment.
What?
Laura texts them the location of the super duper important watch that absolutely cannot be left in the hands of the bad guys. And it turns out, it could have been found at any time because it has a tracker on it.
This is an agent of some kind.
And Maya was nice enough to leave it out in the open right next to notes about Clint's family. But even though Kate found the stuff immediately, Maya was still able to get home in time to catch her. You know, because if there's one thing you know about New York, is that they have like no traffic. But while Kate's fighting Maya, Clint thinks he's fighting Maya, but it turns out to be Yelena, who's been hired to kill him.
Maybe you'd like a shot at the man responsible for your sister's death.
And knowing that they were best friends, she still wants to kill him. But Kate ziplines in, and Maya follows, and now everything is crazy. Maya, who should want to kill Clint because he murdered her father, wants to kill Kate because she thinks she's the one who killed her dad. And Yelena wants to kill Clint because she blames him for Natasha's death.
My sister is gone because of him.
But she doesn't want to hurt Kate because she wasn't paid to kill her. So at random times, the person who wants to kill Clint for a stupid reason has to fight the person who should want to kill Clint for a good reason, because she's trying to protect Kate.
I'm not so sure.
So he's relieved that she didn't fall to her death, and then purposely drops her the rest of the way. So luckily, those lights were close enough together to stop her from breaking like all her bones. And neither of the two women that want to kill him bother to do so while he's defenseless over the edge. But I guess they use that time to talk, because now they're double teaming Clint instead of fighting each other. But when Kate makes it back to the roof, we see that no, they're still fighting each other too.
How is this relevant?
But eventually, Kate shoots Maya with an arrow, and she fucks off. And then Yelena, the assassin, is like, whoa, 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 shit just got too real, and fucks off too.
Well, why didn't Kate shoot her too?
Well, Yelena tried to save Kate and get her out of the fight, so she's really conflicted about killing her. And also, she shook her head no, so there's that.
Stop being so defensive.
Now, Clint really doesn't want to work with her anymore, so she goes home all sad, where her mom's like, oh my god, what happened to you?
She must be really messed up. She got kicked in the face with a metal leg.
No, she pretty much looks exactly the same, except maybe like 2 little cuts. But since she's depressed that she's not going to be an Avenger now, she tells her mom about Jack. And after telling her mom that the man that she's in love with is probably going to go to jail for murder, she's like, bye, and goes back to her destroyed apartment, where Yelena's there waiting for her.
Hi.
She tells Kate that she was hired to kill Clint, and she wants to know where he is.
She was able to track him down to a random rooftop in New York, but now she needs help finding him.
Yeah, it's even dumber when she tells Kate that if she wanted her dead, she would have done it before she even knew she was there. So I'm not sure why she insisted on fighting Clint when she could have just shot him while he was watching Kate.
My daddy says it's good for you.
So Kate goes back to her mom's place just in time to see Jack get arrested. And then she goes to her bedroom, where she acts like the girl who won't let her boyfriend break up with her.
Listen, I know you said it's over, but it's not.
And as he's ignoring her calls, Clint goes to the Battle of New York plaque and talks to Natasha.
Wouldn't somebody be trying to record that?
Well, there's this whole thing about no one recognizing him, but they also have a bunch of people recognize him. So basically, if he's in a crowd, no one cares, but the second he needs something, everyone knows who he is.
Why is there an Avenger in my dining room?
But after he apologizes to Nat, he shoots an arrow at this guy's face. And Nat has a note for Maya to meet him tonight. I don't know why he can't just do it now. It's not like he wants to get home for Christmas or anything. and the only thing he's currently doing is ignoring Kate and driving her crazy.
Do you think I want to do this, Clint? You think I want to leave all these messages like a crazy person? No, this is your fault.
But that night, Clint takes out all of Maya's goons without her noticing.
They've been out of the game a long time.
But when she sees a shadow, she starts shooting, so either she knows what her goon shadows look like, or she just doesn't care who she kills.
Bit of both.
But then, Clint comes out in the Ronan suit, and she's like, oh hell no. And they fight, and when Clint wins, he doesn't kill her. Instead, he takes off the mask and says it's not really my fault I killed your dad, your boss wanted me to do it. And then he threatens to kill her if she goes near his family. Because it's totally fair for him to get revenge if she goes after his, but her wanting revenge for him killing her family is being completely unreasonable.
That's how the world works.
But she's not buying that shit and attacks him. But then Kate comes in and ruins it.
That was a bit of a letdown.
And after they get away, Maya starts suspecting Kazi, and with how bad he lies, she should have suspected him so much sooner.
What are you doing, you dope?
In the morning, they meet with their boss, who agrees to give her some time off. He tells her that he loves her, and then makes plans with Kazi to kill her.
You're really starting to annoy me.
And now he's lost 2 employees today, because earlier, Eleanor said that she didn't want to work for him either. And for some reason, Yelena followed her and recorded their conversation to send to Kate. So now, Clint needs to help Kate stop Kingpin from killing Kate's mom, who hired Yelena to kill him.
Shit.
So they ignore her safety all day, figuring that the guy that was pissed about all the attention Maya was causing would want to publicly assassinate a millionaire at a formal charity ball on Christmas Eve.
I always taught you to keep a low profile.
So they spend all day making new arrows, but labeling them so they don't have a repeat of the car chase.
There are 4 arrows more dangerous than that one?
They also managed to get the LARPers undercover at the party. And these people would have been hired by the event planner or the caterer, and they would notice new people. Especially since it's that guy Gary.
I quit.
You can't quit.
And once they get to the party, we see that Jack is out of jail.
Wielding a sword. Just out of jail for allegedly murdering somebody with one.
Not what I would do, but it's each his own.
And the tracksuits are planning to murder Eleanor in front of a bunch of rich socialites who will definitely not have any influence on the police response in any way. Also, Yelena showed up because why not kill a well-known Avenger at the person who hired you's party?
You guys are dedicated.
Because it's not like people don't hire assassins so the murder isn't connected to them or anything. Then Eleanor arrives late to her own party, and Kate moves her from the windows so Kazi can't get a shot. But Clint stands right in front of the window, so Kazi's just like, you'll do. He then proceeds to shoot out all the windows while Clint's running right in front of him.
You'd have to dodge.
And once he's safe, he tells one of the LARPers to go find Eleanor, who was just with Kate 10 seconds ago.
Does anyone even have a plan?
And even though everyone knows there's a sniper, Kate walks in front of the windows too, so she can delay Yelena from catching up with Clint. Now, all Yelena knows is that Clint got off on the 12th floor, so she jumps out of a window, rappels down, and just happens to find the window that Clint's shooting out of.
I call bullshit.
And she of course misses and lands safely, so Kate follows and is immediately attacked by the tracksuits.
An unexpected surprise.
All surprises are unexpected.
Everybody's running out of the building, and the LARPers are trying to get people to safety, but no one's listening to them. So they abandon their post to put on their cosplay outfits, and now everyone does exactly what they say.
I love a man in uniform.
And one of them, who is brave enough to threaten an Avenger, whacks a guy in a ski mask with a baseball bat and gets freaked out by it, while the most experienced person there, who has fought aliens, killer robots, gods, rappelled down buildings, and has time traveled, can't figure out how to get out of a tree.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
And Kate decides that the safest way to get someone out of a tree is to chop it down, which basically makes him a sitting duck for the mob of people who want to kill him.
So violent.
But apparently, falling out of a 100-foot tree doesn't hurt at all.
Think we lost the element of surprise.
And luckily, he's got a magnetic arrow that disarms everybody. And since time is of the essence, they change clothes.
All right, this is the classic Hawkeye costume we've been waiting for.
And then use a crap ton of trick arrows to take everybody out.
Arrowed!
Ow, my skin!
But I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be one of the most horrific deaths ever.
This would be a cool way to die.
So after they get out of there, Kate leaves to go find her mom, while Clint goes after the 3 remaining tracksuits.
The first arrow you release just has to be wood. So when you release the second one, it splits it right up the middle.
But Kazi's able to catch his with his injured hand.
Wasn't it like a big deal when Loki was able to do that?
Yes it was. But because a literal god was able to do it 12 years ago, this normal injured minion guy can do it.
Come on!
But then Yelena comes out of nowhere to fight him. And again, doesn't just shoot him while his back is turned. And now Kazi has a chance to shoot him, but Maya comes out of nowhere and stops him from killing the guy who killed her father.
Great. Perfect timing.
See, since she knows that Kingpin and Kazi set up her father, she doesn't care about the guy who actually murdered her dad. But for some reason, after she kicks Kazi's ass, she asks him to run away with her. And he's like, nah. And then he tries to kill her, but he dies.
Very sad.
So Yelena tells Clint that she wants to know how Nat died, which seems to be the reason that she didn't shoot him all those times.
But didn't she try to shoot him from the side of a building?
Oh, shut up. So Clint tells Yelena that Nat sacrificed herself, instead of saying, this red floaty guy said one of us had to sacrifice the other, and then she harpooned me to a cliff and jumped off.
Goodbye, friend.
So she kicks his ass some more, and honestly, he deserves it after giving such a crappy answer. I mean, she wants to know how her sister died. That's a normal way to deal with grief. Hell, that's probably the most normal thing she's done.
I made macaroni if you want some.
Well, I don't think that trying to kill your dead sister's best friend is normal.
I mean, it could be for an assassin.
That's a little on the nose, don't you think?
But when she's actually about to kill him, he uses their secret whistle. So now they're good.
You couldn't have told me sooner?
And while all this pointless fighting was going on, Kate is getting her ass handed to her. See, she caught up to her mom right as Kingpin was murdering her security guards. So Kate shot him in the frickin' chest, and that did nothing. But to be honest, Maya kind of just brushed it off too. Eleanor then hits him with her car, but he just pops back up and really wants to kill her now. So Kate has to fight him, and that does not go well. But she is able to stop him from killing her mom, which makes him go back to kicking the crap out of her. Huh, if only there was a way of letting other people know you need backup.
Take this. Stay on comms, okay?
But he breaks all her arrows, and that's when she uses the quarter trick that Clint taught her.
That really hurts.
So after the explosion, she checks on her mom, who's all like, well, that was weird. Tomorrow, we'll have coffee. But Kate's like, Mom, you did a lot of fucked up shit, and I'm really not okay with that. And her mom's like, grow up. You never had any consequences like I did, so you can't possibly understand why I shouldn't have any consequences.
That you think that you can live your life without consequences.
Perfectly not confusing.
Exactly. So the cops show up and arrest her without getting any information from Kate. So Eleanor guilt trips her for getting her arrested.
Is this what heroes do? Arrest their mothers on Christmas?
I do not know.
They meet back up with the LARPers and are trying to convince the cops that they're good guys.
So they're voluntarily telling them that they're with the girl who knocked down the tree and blew up a toy store.
Yes, but they aren't arrested and drive to Clint's house for Christmas. And we finally get to find out what's so special about this watch. It was Laura's from when she was an agent.
That's it? That's the one thing that the person who wanted to kill the Ronan wanted from a black market auction that had stuff from the Avengers compound that included the Ronan stuff. And all it is a normal watch? Does it have her name and address on it or something?
No, it just had her agent number on it. And the person who had it already had her name, but as Hawkeye's wife, and probably wouldn't have even cared if she was an agent.
That's so sweet.
And after desperately trying to get home, Clint stops the Christmas festivities to ditch his family so he can go burn the Ronan suit with Kate. He then continues the theme of not taking responsibility for his actions by saying,
Well, I figured you'd like to help me end. You started.
But I would guess that most people would say that he started it by going on a 5-year murder spree.
You seem like a reasonably not stupid guy.
It's a movie marathon night, right? Check this out. I got movies.
All in? Okay, it's gonna be great. You guys are awesome.
Melikalekimaka is a wise way to say Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas!